the key to value, or how to choose prices. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. Today, I'm going to use the example of this key to give you an example of philosophy when it comes to economics and see what you think about it. First, I wanted to mention brianjpombo.com, though. Go and check out brianjpombo.com, not just for me, do it for you. Go ahead and check out the videos and audios that we have there to be able to help you to think differently about your business and to completely change really where it's at. Take it from where it's at to really where you want it to be. Go check out brianjpombo.com. Specifically, check out the Amazon Proof Strategy session. This is your chance to be able to sit down with me and go through from heads all the way to tails your entire business in a short period of time and figure out how to make it competition proof. You can find that at brianjpombo.com/Amazon. That link is in the description. Now, let's talk about this key that I found. Actually, it was my wife. My wife found this key and she asked me whether I wanted to keep it or not. I have a little bit of a tendency to be a hoarder. And so I'm getting better though. And I looked at the key and I said, well, it's a car key. I know that. It isn't one of the cars that we currently have. So it's pretty useless. Started thinking back to which car it was. And it was a car from a couple years ago, I'm pretty sure. One that we, I think, donated to charity so that they could either fix it up and use it or trash it or use it for parts or something like that. So after realizing that, I thought about it for a second and I said, what if I still had the car? How much would this key be worth to me then? Right now it's worthless. It means nothing. The car doesn't exist anymore in all likelihood. So it's really worth nothing more than the metal that it's made out of, which probably isn't worth that much. I doubt that whatever they make keys out of is worth all that much, and maybe someone's going to correct me out there. But I can just imagine that conversation. But this key would be worth a whole heck of a lot if I had lost my other key or if I was stranded somewhere and I needed a key to that particular car. All of a sudden, I would pay a whole lot for this key. If I had lost all the keys for that car and this was the only key I had left, and it was and someone had it and was willing to sell it to me, what would this key be worth? Well, the only other option would be for me to have the car rekeyed, and whatever the price that would be, whatever a locksmith would charge me for that, would probably be the same price that I would put on this key. It's the exact same key, you see. The only thing that's changed is the circumstances around it, is how much I really need the key, or how I perceive that I need the key. I mean, what if those keys weren't lost to begin with? What if they were lost but they weren't that far away from me? See, it's all in perception. If I need the key bad enough, if my perceived need of this is high enough, then I'm going to pay more for it. Same thing is true of anything. This is why value and price that we put on things, we always act like that it's a specific thing, and that there's a sense that you can charge too much for something. Well, you can't charge too much for something. The only thing that you could charge too much for is something that someone doesn't value it that high for. Then you're charging too much, and then no one will pay it. But if someone is willing to pay it, it means they consider it of that or equal value. They want what you have more than they want that amount of money. It's all relative, is what I'm saying. All value is relative. So how does that come back to you and your company and designing prices? It's really all relative. It depends on how badly, it's not how badly or how easy it is for you to come up with it. A locksmith doesn't take him much to come up with a key. So this will never be of all that much value to a locksmith because he can go make a new one. It's very little value to that one person. But to a person that doesn't know how to do such a thing, it's almost always going to be valuable as long as the key belongs to something that he values, you see, and has access to. So this comes back to your business in this sense. Everything that you sell, whether it be a product or a service, it doesn't matter how much it's worth to you. It doesn't matter how much time you took to build it, or to make it, or to think of it, or to write it, or to speak it. None of that matters. Your value, what it is to you, means nothing. What it means to all it means to you is in terms of your absolute lowest amount that you'd be willing to take for it. For example, a locksmith, if we go back to the example, a locksmith, it's worth the amount of time and the materials that they're putting into it. That's the very bottom. But they're always going to charge you more than that. There has to be a profit involved. But that is the minimum. The minimum is what you put into it, not the maximum. The maximum is whatever it is valued by somebody else. So that's an exciting thing if you really think about it. If you can find someone who wants what you have more than anything else, and they're willing to part with money in order to get it, then all you have to do is find a few of those people and be able to charge them what in most cases people would see as an exorbitant amount. If I had a book that had the answer to something that you needed, and that answer was worth millions of dollars to you, how much would you be willing to pay for it? Pretty close to millions of dollars, if not more, especially if it meant millions of dollars over a lifetime that you could make off of it over and over and over again. You see, value, whether it be information, whether it be a service you're providing, whether it be a hard product that you're providing, it's always a relative thing. And when this got into my mind, then I can see it everywhere, even in a stupid key that I'm more than likely going to throw away. Hopefully, if you can see that, you'll realize that your potential is so much greater. And all you have to do is test pricing. Pricing requires testing. You've got to raise the price on things. In most cases, you're charging too little. In most cases, you're not in front of the crowd that's going to pay as much as is possible for your product and service. The exact same products and services that you're offering now. Maybe it'll take bundling a few of them together. But when you find the desire, the people, the hungry crowd, like we've talked about before from Gary Halbert, when you find them, you've got something that will just keep on paying. So something to think about when it comes to designing your prices. Hopefully that's helpful. Come back tomorrow. We're going to talk about something else that can make a big impact on your business. Oftentimes we pay attention to the principles here because they're the quickest thing to be able to jump into. So you got your principles, your strategies, or your long-term plans of how you go about achieving those principles, and the tactics are the specific what's, the specific how-tos, the things you are going to use to get what you want out of your business. Because that's the point of business. It's to do something for you and for other people. So we'll see you next time. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.